Hi, I'm Tony Bowen and welcome to my Corn Country Rails. Well, there seemed to be a great response to my July YouTube video on running the Grinnell Local. So for August, I thought I would do the Homestead Local. The Homestead Local is a little different. Here we are in the town of Homestead. In the foreground, we have a passing siding, the main line, and then basically we get into the industry tracks that make up Homestead. And so our Homestead Local basically starts and terminates here. And so the usual power is 2 locomotives and a caboose. And like most Midwestern towns, our industries consist of a grain elevator, and then on the same track, we have a small industry that does some coal and lumber. And then at the end of the track, we have a feed and seed store, and there's also a mobile gas station. But the feed and seed store and the mobile gas station have no cars that need to be either picked up or set out today. So essentially, the cars that already have the waybills by them are the ones that we're going to pick up and take with us. Now, we do have 2 of them down here that have blue dots. And the blue dots basically indicate that that's eastbound traffic. Well, our train is going to be going west. So essentially, before we even leave, those 2 cars are going to be set out on a track for an eastbound train to pick up. There's no sense to take eastbound cars west with us only to be brought back east later on. So we're just going to leave them here. So I hope you'll enjoy following along with the Homestead Local. So our track configuration, the bold line is our main line. Our local engine and caboose were right here on the depot track. They were able to back into their train at the grain elevator, plus they're picking up 2 cars here at the coal elevator. 2 of the cars at the coal elevator will get set off at this siding, and then we'll have to make a runaround move around our train so we can continue east. Over here at the feed and seed and the mobile oil, there were no cars to be picked up or moved today, so we won't even probably see those industries other than when we go by them. So we have our pickups and our train that some of the cars are going with us. So we're going to go ahead and pull out onto the main line. Now these last 2 cars we're going to set out from our train because they're going to continue their journey east. And so we're going to set them out on another little siding here to be picked up with another car to be picked up with another eastbound train later on. All right, so we've uncoupled our two cars that are going to go east. The rest of the train is going to go with us. However, we're still missing a very important car to our train, and that's the caboose. So we're going to temporarily set out our cars on the siding here, go and snag our caboose, then put our train together, and then we will make our way east. All right, at this point our caboose is on the main line. We're going to run our engines around our train and then come back and push them off the siding to couple onto our caboose. We'll make air in our train and then we'll continue our journey east. We do have some setouts on our train, and as any locals, we'll probably have some pickups as well. There's the feed and seed we're going by. And the mobile oil station. And we're just about to switch for the siding. And now we're going to couple up to our caboose. And we will do a final train inspection, make sure our waybills are in order, run the air, charge the line, and then we'll get ready to depart. All right, we have our train orders in hand. We're going to depart Homestead, and our next stop will be South Amana. And we're going to stop here to throw the switch for the main line. Having thrown the switch, conductor gives us the order that we may highball. Going over the Milwaukee Road. And looking at the signal indication, looks like we better take the siding at South Amana. And we are safe and sound in the siding at South Amana. Apparently there's an eastbound mainline train coming, so we're going to be sitting here on the siding for a bit. Local. And so we have no work here at South Amana today. We're just waiting on this eastbound, and oh, here it comes now. This is eastbound train 82, Council Bluffs to Silvis, Illinois, through freight. All right, we've been given permission to proceed west, so we've released the air, and we will continue to the end of the siding where we'll need to throw the switches so we can get back out on the main line. So we'll get ready to stop here, and our head-in brakeman will get out and throw the switch so we can get out on the main line. And we'll stop again so the rear end brakeman can throw the switch back, and we'll continue west. Next stop for us is Marengo, Iowa. Marengo is a pretty busy town, and so for the local we get by kind of lucky in the fact that we have two switchers that are always placed here that do a lot of the industry work. So our cars are essentially already made up on a siding that we'll pick up right here, and what we have for Marengo we'll just drop off and exchange. Then our two switch engines will go and spot the cars at whatever industry. And so we have obviously the depot, grain elevator, Phillips 66 gas station, we have a Swift packing house here, we have Iowa Electric, we have a roundhouse, or I shouldn't say a roundhouse, a just yard track where our switchers are kept. We have the Iowa Department of Highway Roads. We have John Deere implement dealer. We have Iowa Canning. We have just a feed mill on a rip track or on just a spur, and then we have a stockyard. So there's a lot of cars that can come in and out of here, so it's a good thing there's a small switch crew here to do a lot of the switching, because it can keep a person busy for about 45 minutes to an hour pulling and setting out cars. Here comes our local now into Marengo. Going by the stockyard to the right, Iowa Canning there to the left of it, feed mill that's going to be built in the foreground. Where the M and St. Alan Wabash car, that's the John Deere implement, and just behind that is the Iowa County DOT. In the far background is the Iowa electric plant. Then we have our two switch engines. The depot in the background is the Swift packing plant. In the background, we have our grain elevator, and then just on the other side of these boxcars, right in this area, is where we have our small Phillips 66 bulk oil dealer. And I have some other tanks I want to build in the future that'll go there too. So today we have 3 cars we're setting out for Marengo, and we have 11 cars we're picking up. We're going to do our pickups before our setouts. And we'll throw the switch there. And we'll go and get our pickups. And now we'll go get our setouts. So our last 3 cars are what are being left here at Marengo. And we'll put them right on the siding, and that will be up to the Marengo crew to put those cars and spot them in the right industry. I think all 3 of those are going to go to the grain elevator, but that'll be up for the yard crew to figure out where they go. we are ready to go back, put our train back together, set out our waybills, and get ready to move to the next town. There you can see the 3 tanks for the Phillips 66 a little better. All right, I'll take care of the paperwork and our train will be ready to depart here. All right, our train is made up and we are ready to depart Marengo, Iowa. Paralleling Highway 6 through Iowa, going over Big Bear Creek, just west of Marengo. And we're going to stop right here at this grade crossing to throw the switch for the siding to go in to Ladora. And we're going to take the siding at Ladora, and we've got some work to do here. Looks like we have about 5 cars to pick up and about 3 cars to set out. All right, it's time to get to work, getting our pickups and doing our setouts. Ladora is a fun town to switch. So we came off the main line and we took the siding right here is where we're parked. We have industries of Farm Service, Olson Implements, we have Grain Elevator, Sunrise, Feed and Seed, and then we have the depot over here, which also has a track behind it. And so we have right now some facing point switches that create a little bit of maneuvering. And so when people switch this yard, they kind of have to think out their moves before they make it. Otherwise, you can be here a long time. So I've thought about the moves I'm going to make, and my first move is I've uncoupled from my train, and I have a gondola right here at the end of the feed and seed store that I'm going to pick up first. Picked up the gondola. Looks like a lot of scrap lumber from pallets and other boxes that have been broken down that I'm picking up. I'm going to add it to my train. My next move, I'm going to split my train in half. So I'm not blocking the crossing anymore. And I'm going to take advantage of the crossover I have right here to access the elevator. So I split my train right behind that swift car. And the rest of the train I'm going to pull so it's no longer blocking the crossing. And coupled my engines from the gondola that I just picked up. And I'm going to run around my train to complete the rest of my work. However, I've already found I've got a problem. Problem that I have, and it's not a bad thing, but on the first part of my train that I split on this side of the crossing, I have a car for the grain elevator, and on the segment of my train I left over there, I have a car for the grain elevator. So I might have to make a couple additional moves. Too bad the cars weren't closer together in the train. Alright, so I'm going to use these crossovers to access my way into the grain elevator. So I'm getting to the grain elevator to pick up 2 cars. Now I'm going to go back and get one of the grain cars I need. Which is going to be that Quaker Oats car right there. So I'm going to cut it from my train right now. All right, I'll throw the switch so we can push that car into the grain elevator. All right, there's one set out for the grain elevator. I have one more to go. While I'm here, I'm gonna grab a hold of this flat car with the tractors on it because it's gonna need to be spotted in one of my moves coming up, so I might as well grab it right now. So I'm going to set that flat car just out by itself just for a little bit because I'm going to need it soon for a move. And we're going to put this part of the train back together. Now we're going to go back and retrieve that flat car with the John Deere tractors on it. And now we're going to start working from the tail end of our train for some of these other facing point switches. Now this is the part of the train I still have a car that needs to be set off at the grain elevator. So I want to do that first. So we'll throw the switch to drop off that 40-foot boxcar for the elevator. And we'll set this car out. Hopefully that cleaning car will clear the crossing. Nope. That's what I was afraid of. Those cleaning cars work great, but they kind of drag a little bit. All right, and we'll cut that car from our train as a set out. All right, and I'm getting close to my last moves, but I have a problem here. I'm picking up those two St. L cars at the farm service, but I'm supposed to drop off the flat car at the implement dealer over there. But those two cars aren't being picked up. So unfortunately that car is going to have to sit out here somewhere on this siding, and it will be spotted at a later date. So, time to get to work. All right, we're going to uncouple that last car behind the caboose, and since we can't set it out at its proper location, we're just going to set it on this foreground siding, and hopefully it will be picked up and spotted in the right location in another session. All right, our work here in Ledora is done. So now it's just a matter of fact of running around my train on the main line, backing on to the second portion of my train that I split, putting it all back together, and our next stop will be Carnforth Yard, where we'll terminate. Well, our train is all made up again, and we're still sitting in the siding at Ledora because we have another eastbound train coming at us, and so we just have to sit here until it passes. Here comes the eastbound train we're waiting for. This is eastbound train 84. This is also a Council Bluffs to Blue Island train. All right, it looks like we can leave the siding here at Ledora, and our next stop will be Carnforth Yard. We will terminate as a westbound train. And here we come into Carnforth Yard. And just like on my last local, everything back going this way will be sorted and sent out. Everything here on, my engines will push that train through the staging area, and it will be its new westbound train. It's already been made up. All right, the train I just brought in, I'm pulling away from, and I'm basically pushing back what will be my new eastbound local. So as soon as there's a fresh crew, they'll take the train back east and they'll terminate at Homestead, Iowa. And here's a look of what that eastbound train will look like. I hope you've enjoyed watching the operations of the westbound Homestead Local, and thank you for watching.